seen this. Maybe no one's seen it. Who knows?
Reaching through the fog of night to avenge those long betrayed.
Get your preach on. Comes across these to know, like, I'm not getting paid for these. I'm not being sponsored by the pastor whose sermons I'm using. I'm not sponsored by the games I play. I don't get paid to do this. This is all free. That's how come my audio is crap when I stream. When I play music, no one's coming to this stream to steal the music. It's not clear audio. It's pumping out of a CD player into a microphone. It's only as good as the internet connection allows it to be. So I don't want anybody who comes across this to feel like, hey, like you're associating what I do with what you do. I pick stuff I feel sounds like it will work for me. And normally I don't like trying to like use up the whole hour. God dang it. That's not what I was trying to do. God dang it. Come on, Joyce. Work with me here. Okay, YouTube, work with YouTube, seriously, what the heck? What the heck and stuff? Is it further? That's really annoying. How come I can't hit the button? Hold on, oh my gosh. So yeah, I know the little buttons on the side that let you like add a video to your like watch later stuff. Yeah, I cannot for the script. I was gonna say that for next week. Just again, I'm not getting paid for this, so I'm not using your stuff to get more money. You can watch, look at my views, look at my subscriber count. No one's watching me. If you legit have a gripe with it, it sucks. But it is what it is. Besides, these are just my streams. They go for way too long. No one's watching them. My internet quality doesn't make for good video. Flag them if you want to. I'll take them down. Contact me, whatever. Well, actually, contact me specifically and let me know you don't want to be associated with this channel. There's a lot of non-Christian, not a lot of non-religious stuff on my channel, but I'm a very open-minded person. I'm just doing my thing. This is my thing. Let me do my thing, shawty. Dang. All right, here we go.
Well, thank you for joining us today. I hope that you enjoy your time with us. We're going to be talking about marriage and relationships, and basically the marriage relationship. And you know, some of you may not be married, but to be honest, even if you're not married, sometimes the best time to get teaching on marriage is before you get married, because a lot of times people don't think about that, and then they have all these problems maybe could have been avoided if they would have done a little more studying before they got into the relationship. And so I guess I'd like to just open with this statement. Relationships can be very challenging. Can anybody say amen? And especially the marriage relationship can be challenging because you're with that person all the time. And going to lunch with a friend is quite different than being married to somebody for 50 years. And Dave and I have been married 50 years. And I can say that during that period of time, God has changed me a lot.
Why didn't I shut my door?
And it's probably a good thing, because if I wouldn't have let him do that, I probably wouldn't still be married today. And so I want to start out by talking to you about what are your expectations when you get married. If you're not married yet, what is it that you're expecting? Or if you are married,
what were you expecting?
What do you expect from the person that you're married to? I think one of the things in our lives that gives us a lot of problems is just having unrealistic expectations. You know, when you're expecting somebody to give you something they don't know how to give you, or to maybe understand something about you that they could not possibly understand, especially if you're expecting somebody to make you happy all the time. And I do think a lot of people, when they get married with the idea that now you're going to make me happy all the time. And first of all, you know, some of the things that you feel when you're dating somebody is totally different than the way you feel, you know, after you've been married for a while. And so there's a lot of excitement and goosebumps and all those things, you know. It's almost like, you know, the chase is different than when you actually get what you want. For example, I didn't know when I married Dave that he played golf. I didn't even know that. And of course, you've heard all my golf stories, my funny stories. I mean, I didn't know that he was as crazy about sports as he is. You know, that those were not, he wasn't focusing on that. At that time, he was focusing on me. I was like the most important thing in his life. However, we'd been married about a week when he told me that he was going to go out and hit shag balls, which that happens to be what guys that are serious about golf do to practice. Well, his whole family was coming over to see our new little apartment, and because of the way I was raised, I wasn't really comfortable with the whole thing. All this work by myself, thus we had our first argument over golf. And it certainly was not the last, but it was the first. And I just think it's interesting, as much as he loves all kinds of sports, and especially golf, that we got married and I didn't even know that he played golf. So just trust me when I say you are going to find out some things after you're married that you did not know before you got married. And that doesn't mean they're all bad. You'll find out a lot of good things too. But do as much as you can to get to know as much as you possibly can about the person that you're going to marry before you get married. So what are you expecting from your relationships? This works also with friendship, but we're going to talk mainly about marriage today. What are you expecting? Are you expecting this other person to keep you happy all the time? Well, you know, it was a great day for me, and I'm sure for Dave, when God spoke to my heart and instructed me that I was to stop giving Dave the responsibility of keeping me happy. He said, your joy is your own responsibility. It's not somebody else's responsibility. And I do think in relationships that we really think this other person is supposed to keep us happy all the time. They're supposed to make us feel good about ourselves all the time. But to be honest, if you don't already have a sense of confidence, if you don't already feel good about yourself, then there's no human being in your life that is ever going to be successful at making you feel good about yourself all the time. And I can tell you, it wears people out. Being married to somebody that is extremely insecure can just absolutely wear people out. Because if you don't feel good about yourself, if you don't have a sense of God's love and who you are in Him, and if you don't know how to be an individual, then you're constantly looking for somebody else to make you feel good, to make you feel successful, to make you feel confident, to make you feel secure. And it's like you're expecting something that they're not going to give you, because to be honest, no matter who you marry, now I know this is going to be shocking, but I have to say this, they are not going to be focused on you all the time. Isn't that surprising? They don't have you on their mind all the time. They're not going to be focused on you all the time. But when a person really lacks confidence, like for example, if a woman is insecure and she makes a new meal, if the man, the kids, whatever, don't rave about how good it is, she's going to automatically assume that it's not good and they didn't like it. You know, where a person who has confidence may taste it and say, this is really great, and they don't necessarily have to have somebody else confirming to them all the time that everything they do is good. That doesn't mean that we shouldn't compliment each other, but if you have to have that, then it's kind of equivalent to a drug addict needing a fix. It's like you constantly expect somebody else to fix you, to keep you fixed all the time, and it just wears them absolutely out. So, are you expecting the person that you're married to always be there for you when you're hurt? To always understand what you're going through? Let me tell you something. There's only one person that can ever understand any of us, and that's Jesus. And I am grateful that the Bible says that we have a high priest who understands it goes on to talk about our weaknesses and our infirmities. But he understands each of us in our own little brand of weirdness, and trust me, we all have a certain amount of that. And so I guess one of the things that Dave and I had a number of arguments over the years was I wanted, no matter what I told him I was going through, I wanted him to sit and listen to every single solitary word, and I wanted him to understand. But he didn't. And most of us know very few men understand women anyway. I mean, women don't even understand themselves. And so, you know, but you can at least go to another woman and say, my hormones are all off today. And they get it. It's like, oh, man, I know how you feel. Well, you tell a man that, and he just thinks, you're what? What is that? You know? And so I've told Dave, and over the years it's become a joke. I said, even if you don't understand, please tell me that you do, because it's going to make the rest of the day go good. And so now it's like a joke. No matter what I tell him, he'll say, I understand. And I'm like, no, you don't, but it sounds good anyway. And so, I mean, don't you think that a lot of times we want to be understood. We want to feel like that people really understand what we're going through. But to be honest, I mean, I was even talking to somebody this morning. I'm like, you know, I never, ever, ever was bothered with seasonal allergies until about 3 years ago. Well, when people told me they were suffering with allergies, it just went right over my head, you know. But now I get it because I have it. And so you really can't totally understand what anybody else is going through if it's not what you go through. Amen? So, the next thing I want to say is always enter relationships, and every relationship, with the idea of giving rather than getting. And the thing is our mindset, the direction we set our mind in. Dave, I know years or two ago I said, because I know how much, you know, he enjoys coming off. And, you know, Dave is very healthy, and so that's all good. But I said, how do you think you would be if you ever, for some reason, got to the point where you couldn't play golf? And I thought the answer he gave me really describes my husband very well. He said, well, I've actually already thought about that, and I've set my mind that even if that happens, I can still be just as happy as I am right now. And see, we all need to have this mindset that my joy is not dependent on how you act, because if it is, now I'm codependent on your behavior. And so we're easily controlled, just because, to be honest, we have no control over how somebody else is going to act all the time. I can't control how I mean, now thankfully Dave is very stable, and so that's been an extreme blessing to me in my life, because I grew up around people that weren't stable. But if I was married to somebody that maybe had more ups and downs, you know, then I would have to make my mind up. First of all, it's not my fault, because a lot of times if people around you aren't happy, then you take the responsibility of fixing them, and boy, that's another whole nightmare all on its own. And so I just had to learn that I can't give somebody else the responsibility for my joy, and we need to always make sure that we know who we are enough that we're not going to be codependent on somebody else and take responsibility for what we need to do. Can anybody say amen, or oh me? Or... So always in a relationship with the thought of giving.
I jumped. I did taking. Not.
And
Shadow
basically,
strike.
To tell you the truth, every single day of your life. Every day. I did it just this morning. You know, because we all have a tendency to be focused on us. What can you do for me? How can you make me happy? How can I get you to do what I want you to do? Can we eat what I want to eat? You know, on and on and on. And so, I make that a habit. I don't say that I do it every day, but I spent time this morning, and not just because I was coming in here to teach on marriage, but I purposely set my mind to be focused on what can I do for other people today. Because I've learned that if I'm focused on me, I'm not happy. And so the way we set our mind, the direction we set our mind in, is very important. So when you get married, if your mind is set and made up that this person's supposed to keep you happy all the time, boy, you've just already signed up for a disaster. But if you set your mind, I want to give. You know, I want to make this other person happy. What can I do for them that will make them happy? And if you do that, then the very act of giving gives joy in your life. Where if we go at a relationship with what can I get, then every time we don't get something, we're unhappy. And so, you know, Dave is not a man that requires a lot. He's a very stable man. He's very happy. But I don't care who you are, you like it when people give you what you want. And so it's important to learn the person that you're in relationship with and what actually are they motivated by, what blesses them. My husband loves peace. If you keep it peaceful, Dave is happy. He doesn't like arguing. He doesn't like complicated discussion. He doesn't care about getting real deep into every little feeling that somebody has and what's going on. Now, I could sit and talk about that stuff all day, but that's not him. Dave wants peace. So I purpose to try to give him peace. And I know that Dave's love language is time. So if he's trying to tell me something and talk to me about something, even if it doesn't interest me, I'm still learning, and I'll say still learning because it's not my number one gift. I'm still learning to really listen and pay attention. Where I love it when he does things for me. Like he does the dishes almost every night, and I love that. So you have to kind of stop trying to give people what you want and what you like, and just be in the relationship for what I can get.
Yes,
but actually the whole act of love, which we are commanded as Christians to do, is to think about what can I give you, not what can you give me. And so then the selfish nature says, well, then what's going to happen to me? Well, then God takes care of us. So let me just say now, after 50 years of marriage, I can tell you, and I feel very strongly about this, I don't think the way the world is today, there's much hope of anybody getting married and staying married very long if you're not going to be committed to doing things the way that God would want you to do them. And sadly, a lot of Christians aren't. You know, just because we go to church doesn't mean that we're saying yes to God on a regular basis. And so anybody who will commit to doing their part to do what's right before God, God will reward you, and there's a much greater chance that he will make the changes in the other person that needs to be made if you just do what's right before him and stop trying to make that other person give you what you want. So enter relationships with the thought of giving, not getting. Make sure you have your mind set in the right direction. You might as well just set your mind and say, you know, I'm not going to get my way every day, and I can be happy anyway. Instead of thinking, well, if I don't get my way, then I can't be happy. David and I are going out to eat today after we're done here, and where I wanted to go, he didn't want to go. And where he wanted to go, I didn't want to go. And I can remember when that would have ruined my day, and just, you know, I mean, that wouldn't have ruined my day. I would have ruined my day because it's my decision whether I want to get unhappy or not. And so, you know, we just picked a place that we could both put up with. It's probably not my favorite, but you know what I have learned? There's nothing worth losing your peace over. There's nothing worth losing your peace over. And I guess if I would say anything, if I could come up with just a couple of things that have really helped me personally over the 50 years Dave and I have been married, it's being committed to peace and not making a big issue out of little things that really don't make that much difference. I mean, it's one lunch, it's one meal. I mean, if I don't get to go where I want to go, it's not really worth being upset over. And not only that, most of the time Dave will take me wherever I want to go, but today where I want to go is just not a restaurant that he really cares for. Well, you know, then naturally, well, I don't know, well, why don't you like that? Food is good, and they have this, he's like, I don't like it. And so then where he wanted to go, he said, well, it's a great restaurant, how can you not like it? I said, I don't like it. And so we just finally picked a place that we could both decide to do right. And especially like if you notice some things before you get married and you're thinking, oh, I'll work on that. Well, let me tell you something. I tried every way that I could try to get Dave not to like sports. No reason other than selfishness. I didn't care about him. I didn't grow up getting to do any of that. My father never liked any kind of sports. We didn't have them on television. We didn't go to, I mean, none of that was part of our life. And so it's just not anything that I really am going to put my time into. So I didn't want him to like it. But I can tell you the truth, the more you try to get somebody not to do something, the more they're going to want to do it. I mean, that whole principle is found in the Bible about the law. That's why the law caused people to sin more, not less. And God did that on purpose to show people that they needed a Savior. So the more you try to make somebody not do something, the more they're probably going to want to do it. And actually today, Dave loves all kinds of sports that he didn't even like when we got married. I mean, he's added things that he doesn't even play. Like now he watches tennis all the time. He doesn't play tennis. You know, he'll watch a bowling tournament on TV, and that, you know, that has nothing to do with anything. But you know what? Now I'm just has nothing to do with anyway what I'd like him to be interested in. But you know, Dave is not. He's not a real aggressive. His personality is not real aggressive. He always said, "You're always ahead of God," and I said, "Yeah, and you're 10 miles behind him." And so here we have these two people that are married, and I'm just real aggressive, and he's not as aggressive. And so I tried to get him to be more aggressive, and I would say to him, you know, you need to be more of this, and you need to be more of that. You know how awful it is, how it makes a person feel if you're constantly giving them messages that they're less than what you want them to be. You need to be this, you need to do that, especially if it's not something they even know how to do. And I'll never forget the day he said to me, he said, "You better thank God that I am the way I am, because if I wasn't, you sure wouldn't be doing what you're doing." And so I just want to remind you today that there's a really good possibility, no matter what you think, that the person that you married is really perfect for you. I didn't expect anybody to clap, but that's all right. You can't pressure somebody to be something that they're not. Now, you know, what we focus on is what develops more and more in our life. So if I focus on what I don't like about somebody, then pretty soon that's all I see. Amen? But if I focus on what I do like, most of the time you'll find out, no matter how bad you think your relation is, most of the time you will find out if you focus on what you do like, there's probably a lot more that you like than what you don't like. I love the fact that Dave is peaceful. I love the fact that he's easy to get along with. I love the fact that he just lets me be me. If I went to Dave and said, which I've done, like, what would you like to change about me? You know, if I could change something, what would you like me to change so you could be happier? He said, nothing. I like you just the way you are. And so, if you had asked me that question 30 years ago, I probably had a written list already. I mean, because I can remember times when I sat there and made a list of everything that I thought Dave needed to change for me to be happy. Well, I know that there are things. I mean, Dave couldn't possibly like everything about me. I know that because I already know what my weaknesses are and some of the things that nobody would want to put up with if that was all they focused on. And I know that there are things about Dave that I probably don't care for, but to be honest, if you ask me that now, I would have to think a really long time to come up with it. You know why? Not because it's not there, but I don't focus on it. And so if you think about, like, say a Polaroid camera, I could take a picture of anything in here today that I wanted to, depending on where I focused the camera. And then whatever I focused on would develop in my life. And I'm telling you the truth, I've been thinking about this a lot lately. What you focus on your problems, pretty soon you're going to think that you've got the worst life in the whole world, because all you're going to see is your problems. But if you focus on your blessings, that gives God an opportunity then to work on the problem. And so if you're in a relationship with somebody and they do a lot of things that you don't like, pray for them. Pray about those things. And make sure when you pray that you do it with an attitude of humility. I never go and say, God, this needs to change in Dave. I'll pray more like this. Now, God, I would like this to change, but maybe it's not even the problem I think it is. It may just be my attitude. And so, first of all, I want you to change anything in me that needs to be changed.
I don't know you care
and
about
if this is something that
I
needs
just
to
don't want to have to go
change
through that
in
stupid
Dave,
cutscene.
then I'm asking you to change it and to help me focus on all the good things, not on the things. And so, if I would tell you two things that I think has probably helped me in my marriage with Dave more than anything, it's number one, to focus on the good things and not focus on everything that...
This is gonna be weird, but I'm just not in the mood. I don't like this game anymore. So I'm gonna give this 3 more tries, and if I fail, I'm gonna just delete this and move on with my life, and I'm just in the stream because I am just not in the mood for this today. I've been playing this game for the past 3 or 4 days, and I'm remembering now why I stopped playing it. Like early on in this game, it's not fun. There's more. They want me to do more than I want to do. They're not like what I'm doing now isn't fun. This isn't enjoyable. This is something that I need to do after I've upgraded. Like this, if this was an optional mission in the main story, I wouldn't do this until I've expanded my quiver or something. There's nothing in the game I can do that will make this easier. Like, this just isn't fun. I am not enjoying it. And it is the last of the ring things I need to do to have them all. And I just don't like this. I am not enjoying it. So here's 1 of 3.
I think is wrong. To accept him the way he is and believe that God has given me the right man for me. And I know that now. I didn't know that in the very beginning. And then the other thing that helps me, this helps me so much, is I am committed to peace. I mean, I'm really committed to peace. Now, I'm not going to just let somebody walk all over me to have peace. I'm not going to not confront things that I feel need to be confronted. But I'd like to leave you with this thought. This came to me this morning. The next time that you think you want to talk to somebody about something that you think is wrong with them, before you do it, pray. And ask God if it's something that He really wants you to talk to them about. Most of the time, He's going to tell you to deal with your own self and leave them alone. Now, there are times that we need to communicate with people about things that they're doing or not doing that, maybe need to change just out of respect for proper kind of relationship. But even then, I don't think you ever should just go talk to somebody because you want to talk to them. Or that you should just, we're going to talk about this right now. Doesn't matter to me if you just got home from work and you're sweaty and tired and had a rough day and been in traffic for 3 hours. We're going to talk about this right now.
Startups for some of these things are so slow.
So if you do need to talk about something, the best thing to do is to pray
stop,
at the right timing. Pray if it's something you really should talk about. And if it is, then do it with an attitude of humility. And then God can get involved and do what needs to be done. Here's the bottom line. What sense does it make?
I don't care. Oh my gosh. What are you doing? Like, you're ruining what you sent me to do. You're making it harder.
Negative thoughts about that you're miserable with. There's no point in spending day after day after day like that. And there's ways that we can change it. Let me just say this. I believe that because of our relationship with God, we're powerful people. We're not powerless people, we are powerful people. And a powerful person doesn't give somebody else the responsibility for making them feel secure and making them happy all the time. You can receive the power of Jesus into your life at any given time to do what He's asking you to do and not have to just do what you feel like doing. So let's be committed to having good marriages. Don't ever have this attitude, well, if this continues, I'm out of here. because you've already got your mind set in the wrong direction, and you're waiting for this person to do one more thing that aggravates you, so you can then have an excuse to leave. What you need to say is, I'm committed to this. There's no way that
I'm not committed to this.
God himself told me to leave. I'm going to do what I believe God wants me to do, because when our time here on earth is over, I'm only going to answer to God, and I'm only going to answer for me. So if I do what's right, then God will take care of the rest. Well, today we're offering 2 teachings on marriage, and they're on CD and DVD. And what that means is you get a CD and a DVD of each teaching. So you can listen going to work, you can watch in your home, you can buy them as a gift for your spouse.
You are.
I think you're going to enjoy these.
Killing me
we're
here,
offering
Small.
it to you today for your gift to the ministry of any amount. This is a great thing to give young people that are getting married. What a great gift for somebody who's getting married. Instead of thinking, well, I just know what to give them. Well, give them the word. Believe me, they'll thank you for it in due time. And it's a good way for you to get some good uplifting teaching. It would be
different if they were all like
a way for you at the same time
relatively
to be able
close
to be
by.
a blessing to the ministry. We want everybody to have it, and so therefore we're not putting any specific price on it. All I want you to do is do the very best that you can. And just remember that we love you, God loves you, and He wants you to have a great life.
On.
Well, you know, marriage can be fulfilling and challenging.
Hey, let's go.
Throughout 50 years of marriage, Dave and I have experienced a lot. So today I'm going to answer your questions about marriage from what God's Word says and share from our experiences. Well, Ginger, I guess you got a lot of good questions.
We have so many good questions. These are coming from our viewers, and we're going to hit every topic. And then we have an audience with us here today, so we'll see if any of these questions relate to all of you and your lives too. So, all right, here's a great one to start with. This is from Tracy in South Dakota, and she has a 2-part question.
Oh my gosh!
One thing about
I don't want to do this. This is not fun. Like, I'm already in pain, and it's like, so like this stupid. You know what? No, I'm just not gonna do it. That's it. I'm not gonna do it.
Marriage, what would it be?
Like, I'm not doing
this. You
this.
can tell husbands
like,
one thing about marriage that they should know. What would it be?
Well, I think probably the first thing that comes to me is be committed to making the other person happy. Be committed to encouraging them and edifying them.
Is that for wives or for husbands?
Well,
I'm thinking it's for husbands.
All right. Hey, we have like, you catch me on a bad day and you see the real me. You get the most reality that you could possibly get from somebody. That's an ultra rare? Yeah, I don't care. Oh yeah. No, I super don't care anymore. Yeah, I'm done with it. I'm just gonna finish this and delete this crap off my system. Like this, like playing this again has like confirmed that I don't want to play the second one. They do too much.
I love these characters.
They do too much in this game, and I don't care if you like this game. I don't care. I had fun with the story, and fuck it. The game ain't as good as it should be. Like, they're asking you to do too much. The obscene amount of cutscenes stops a lot of the fun. Like, it really does. Like, every time you die, well, stop dying. Fuck off! Every single time you die, you have to listen to these obscene, long-ass, obligatory cutscenes. You have to fucking deal with every single time you encounter a captain or a war chief. They have a line of dialogue, and it's always too long, especially ones that don't actually say anything. It's unskippable. Like, a lot of this game stops being fun simply because it takes the gameplay away from you, and it makes you watch stuff. And it's like, cause like earlier when I died, I was gonna just die, but I didn't die because I didn't want to have to go through the cutscenes. It stopped being fun. It's not fun anymore. Like, it's not fun anymore. It's simply, it's a bore. It's long. It's drawn out. I just want to be done. I want to delete this game off my goddamn system.
They will forsake their war chief, and in turn, he will forsake us.
I remember washing my hands in the employee restroom when I overheard two characters who were talking to each other from their stalls. So, I eavesdropped. I heard Minnie was caught cheating on me. Get out. Who? Black Pete. Ouch. That's something that Mickey might need to see a straight for, and you agree? I knew she was a whore the second I watched her. The Mickey Mouse Club is going to have an awkward Christmas. Honest to God, truth. That is what I heard. Now I may be wrong, and that could be code talk for some gossip about other employees. But that just raises more questions. Who would be so paranoid as to only talk about people encrypted as Disney characters? Was it a joke? It sounded a bit too serious for it to be taken as a goof. Here's another example. I once saw a face character take a break from all the greetings and walk up to the water fountain and start drinking, with his mask on. It was after I saw that I began viewing this part through a different set of eyes. I'd list more strange activities like this, but it would just seem repetitive wackiness. But it's true. This kind of behaviour continued for 3 weeks, almost to where it seemed normal behaviour. Was it the Florida heat? Maybe a majority of the characters suffer from minor heat stroke-like symptoms and aren't even aware of it. Was it the park's water? I wouldn't know, because I refused to use a water fountain that some kid's germ-infested mouth probably drank from. All I knew was that something was definitely wrong with the majority of these employees. When it came to the end of my shift, it was 7 PM. I was stuffing that atrocious duck costume into my locker when I heard my name over the intercom being called. My manager wanted to see me. "You've been keeping up with this whole child abduction thing?" My boss paced back and forth on edge. "It's pretty hard not to," I replied. "So it's confirmed then? There are abductions?" He sat down in his swivel chair. I remember he had a wet rag that he put on his forehead to cool him off. This doesn't look good. And just to clarify, this whole influx of employees for summer wasn't my idea. You know, it was He coughed, pointing up, referring to the higher-ups. "I'm asking if you know of anybody at all that is showing suspicious behaviour, particularly around the kids, because I really need a miracle here." There were too many to count. "I don't hang out with pedophiles, so no," I said, feeling apologetic. He threw his head back in frustration. "Those many suits that are standing out there, they're not businessmen. They got badges, and sooner or later, the higher-ups are going to find out and come down on me hard. They'll put the whole thing on me, and I didn't even do it. Get it? My reputation will be ruined. So let me ask, what use are you?"
Get the fuck down.
I felt bad that I wasn't helping the situation. But it's not a situation I'm part of. He pinched his nose and
This
closed
is
his
stupid. I
eyes.
don't understand why I had to do all that.
"Go.
Just to fight
You're the
this
innocent
dude.
one here. Bugger
Like,
me
how
for
is any of
managing
this
a
relative
hapless
to him
place in
showing
the
up?
world." He shooed me away and slammed the door on me. I couldn't help but feel bad. Disney's too big of a corporation to let a scandal like this bring them down. They'd put it on someone else. Someone small and feeble, like my boss. It's the dog-eat-dog nature of the business world. The next day is when things really took a turn. It was my shift again. The sun was coming up for another hot day. I got there early, 20 minutes before they opened the gates. There was me, Donnie the Duck, waiting for an exciting day of taking pictures and making smiles. I remember thinking to myself that I should start coming earlier, because there were no characters walking into the walls or screaming about the deterioration of the gene pool. That happened. Nothing like that. It was just me and a couple other vendors setting up their stands.
Yeah. Just come on!
It's interesting how you can be exposed to the strange for a certain period of time, and when things revert to normal, things seem strange again. Police officers, 3 of them, sprint past me. My heart stopped. This was it. One of them was getting caught. I rushed over to see what the ruckus was about. They lined up against the door of the janitor's stock room, pistols drawn. One of them was telling me and the vendors to back off.
Just remember,
"Open the door, we can talk about this," one of them said.
I
swear to God, if he did what he said another, his voice whimpering. It was this one who lifted his foot up and thrust it through the wooden door. They stormed in. Silence. Then, No, you monster! You damn monster! One said from inside. This was a hell of a trick to see, because the Magic Kingdom was starting to sound like a filthy crime film.
Really?
This is when things get crazy. One of the cops dragged out one of the face characters. It was Minnie Mouse. There was a red smear all over the torso and legs. Throws Minnie to the ground, pulls out his baton, and proceeds to beat the living crap out of him. We're talking about some major wailing here, with his baton and his foot. He didn't seem to be letting up. One of the other cops comes outside and begins puking. He finishes and begins to pull the violent cop away from Minnie. "Let it go, man!" "Screw that," the violent one said. Then, a swarm of Disney security members, about 7 or 8 of them, run over and tackle all 3 of the cops to the ground. While this is happening, Minnie gets up and runs away from the scene. I really wished I chased after the costume, but I just stood there, hoping that the security team would take notice and run after. But they didn't. "Wrong guy! Wrong damn guy! It's the guy in the costume! I'm an officer of the law. I got a badge," the violent one said. "Are you off your damn meds?" They put them in handcuffs and dragged them up. The security closes the door without even looking inside, and they begin taping up the scene. The tape wasn't even police tape. It was yellow tape.
Oh my God, the cutscene! Come
Already
on!
20 minutes had passed, and the gates had opened. The park's microphones.
I'm gonna die.
"Welcome everyone. In celebration for decades of continued support, we're giving away free ice cream for everyone who visits any ice cream vendor. Don't wait any longer."
Oh, now more cutscenes.
It was after this incident
Come on,
that my
don't
boss
care,
was
don't care, don't
fired
care.
and replaced, and the park's face character count had dropped significantly. 3 days later, I resigned. I told this incident to Donnie. Naturally, he thought I was lying, which I thought was interesting. I would have at least thought that the other vet read this around like wildfire. Maybe they all unanimously decided that this story was too crazy to be spoken orally or written down. For good reason. I saw the disbelief in his face. He joked in response. "That cop sounded crazy." Looking back at that summer, it felt like a Twilight Zone episode. I know it's beyond strange. I know that it's something that I should look into further. However, the hard-boiled truth is that I get paid enough to pursue conspiracies.
Why do I need to
within
see
massive
that every
organizations.
time? I don't
I've got other stuff I wanna
care.
do. I'm not the protagonist or the antagonist. I'm just a kid who got a strange job in a strange place.
Why? Why is it necessary?
During a strange
I
time.
just fought him.
This is
Why
motivation,
can't I skip
not
this?
grilling. If I were to leave with one piece of advice, it'd be this. Be careful of those who are masked and shake your hand and take a picture with you. Behind every mask is someone who wishes to remain anonymous. And behind that wish is the possibility of fantasies that go beyond terror.
I gotta hear his cutscenes.
Slow as a day's long.
Come on.
Ready to feel our blood? You're weak. Never. Kill me if you must, but I will never serve filth like you.
Like I'm annoyed to the point I took the headphones off. Like I don't want to hear anything this game has to say. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Let's go. See, that's the problem with a whole bunch of dialogue in the
I've
game.
always had an interest in being a
fuck up.
firefighter.
That's the problem with too much dialogue in the game. When you get to a point where you stop caring about what the story is the story that's being told, you're talking too much. Get in, get out. That's oh my gosh. Like if they haven't stopped that, like I'm just not doing that. I don't really care about the other rooms either. Just at least tell me what lower room they are. It's level 5. I don't give a shit. I know these are low level, 23 and 24. I still don't care. Alright. Oh, I am genuinely sick of this game. The very first time I played it, I didn't like it. I didn't like it then because I thought I had played I thought it was because I played too many games that were just like it. Batman, friggin' Assassin's Creed. But now I'm realizing no, it's just the way the game is formatted isn't fun. The combat is okay, but all of this, I can't skip any of this. Like, I don't care that y'all went through all that work of putting these cutscenes together, writing the script, voice acting. I don't care. When I don't want to hear it, I shouldn't have to hear it. Like, that's the end of this.
Sauron means to show his power by executing my war chiefs. I will not let this pass. I will humiliate all who defy me.
What are the other two?
As far as I can remember, when I was 15, I joined the local fire department as a fire explorer. I steadily got more involved with all sorts of calls, and the department's
Did I kill somebody that was on my team? Oh, why does it do that? Why does it not let me differentiate between the two? Y'all kill the rest of them. Shit, do something. Be useful.
The blaring of the air horns and the fire truck, the wail of the siren, and the dreadful.
Well, I don't know where they're coming from.
Too, knowing we were on the way to save the day. It was from that moment on that I knew this is what I wanted to do with my life. Granted, being a firefighter isn't what people think. You aren't out fighting giant blazes every night, or rescuing cats out of trees. Even though I have done it before, spraying water into the tree, they come out every time. Every day I got out of high school and headed to the firehouse. I studied books, I watched the videos, I wore the gear, I worked out like they did. I wanted to be just like them, and I had never been so sure of anything in my life. When I graduated high school, I went through the fire academy. For 16 long, tiring weeks of school, we had made it to the last week of academy. We had a final burn. The burn lasted about an hour. I made it about 45 minutes in, and my heart gave out. My partner was searching the closet, and I was waiting outside for him. I'm in the back of the ambulance, getting IVs shoved up both my arms. They're cutting my clothes off me. I'm confused. They told me what happened, and I knew right then and there, this was the end. After being checked out of the hospital, I was released. I went to school the next day, only to have them tell me I was too much of a liability, and they could not let me take the state exam. I was devastated. I moved to a small town where there was a little volunteer fire department. Everyone knew each other. I went up there to the chief. I told him about what happened. He said if I knew my limits, he had no issue with me joining. I started out as a cadet. I washed the trucks, scrubbed the toilets, cleaned the station, etc. Within a month, my dedication and knowledge paid off. My chief saw how much I could do and how much I cared. I was promoted to a senior firefighter, meaning I was the lieutenant's right-hand man. I was pumped. The majority of calls we ran were medical calls and grass fires. A few minor car accidents and house fires every now and then.
How do I get... Okay, can I move, please?
For a volunteer fire department, we do get paid to do what we do. We leave home, we leave work, we leave your family. All for nothing.
Who the hell is this?
I had been in the department for 3 months now. We had a period where we didn't have a single call for 3 weeks. Now, it's time for the story of the one call that still haunts me to this day. The reason I lose sleep and lay awake most nights. I will never, ever forget this call. The date was October 1st, 2014. Time 22:01. I worked about 45 minutes away from the town I volunteered in. I was on my way home from work one night. I still had roughly 15 minutes of a drive left before I made it back to town. My pager was clipped to my sun visor, and I heard it sound off. County Fire dispatched the Station 1, respond priority 1, for a single vehicle rollover on Highway 62, north of Country Road 3417. Timeout 22:01. I still had 15 minutes to go. I stepped in the gas sun, knowing I was not going to make the first truck out. The road I was coming down was very hilly and curvy, but I drove it so much I knew it like the back of my hand. Usually, between an initial page out and the second page, I remember pretty much, there's about a 10-minute and doing 110 miles an hour. I'm catching up with another firefighter that's coming from the same direction I am. Before I know it, dispatch comes over the radio. Same dialogue, except they say 22:05. Now I know it's bad. I make it to the fire station within 2 minutes of the second page. The engine is already gone with 3 personnel on board. Myself and 2 others are at the station and get on the radio with instant command. We ask if they need more manpower out there, and they say yes. So we roll out with another truck. The call was about 2 miles outside of town. From the time we left to the time we got there was about 5 minutes. As we're approaching the scene, I see all of the lights. I'm looking around, but I see no vehicle. Not in the road, not in the ditch, nowhere. I jumped out of the truck and started putting on my gear. I see fellow firefighters grabbing the jaws of life. I was excited now. I have never been on an extraction before, except during training in school. I started speed walking up to them, only to have the lieutenant tell me that I'm going to see my first fatality tonight. I looked over his shoulder and finally saw it. The car was horseshoe around a tree, and off it was on its side, the roof crushed in from the tree. I turned about as white as a piece of paper. I had never seen a fatality since I started my career. I turned my helmet light on and started walking around the car. The smell of blood was imminent. The gas tank was leaking. I'll never forget that smell. I shined my light through what little bit of a windshield there was. I could still see the person's hand on the steering wheel.
You have no claim, deceiver! I am the true lord of the rings!
The car down off of the tree. When the car touched the ground, the door swung open and the victim's arms flopped out of it. Blood everywhere. The roof of the car was even with the dashboard. This was a late 90s modern Mustang party. We knew that kind of roof had to be cut off in order for us to remove the body. When the state troopers got there, they asked if we could find any identification of the victim before we started doing anything. His wallet was miraculously in between his legs. The partner pulled the wallet out and opened it up before handing it to the trooper. It was his best friend, who had just turned 18 and was still in high school. He broke down right there. After he went and sat down at the fire engine, I heard a phone ring. It was coming from inside the car. We had started cutting the car apart so we could begin the process of removing his body for the JP to declare DOA. I was on the cutters. I cut the driver's door off and cut the A-pillar right at the dashboard. We began to roll the roof back, but a piece of the victim's scalp was hung on the roof. When the roof caved in on the impact of the tree, his head was smashed and the neck broke. His head was resting on his chest. We finished the extraction and removed the hip, brains, and bones. The doctor being used to transfer the body from the addiction to the body, approximately 45 feet to the road. Later was shut down for investigation. I go back to the wreckage to see if I can find the phone that was ringing. I see it hanging from the aux cord by the center dash. I grab it. He was listening to Hell's Bells by AC/DC, and his girlfriend had just texted him as I picked up the phone. The text read, "I love you so much. Text me when you get home. Please be careful." I will never forget that. As we started wrapping up the scene, I hear a blood-curdling scream. I shuddered as I thought maybe the body had come back to life. The family showed up on scene. The dad was a big, bulky gentleman. He was losing it. I got a sense that the tracker saw the car from a distance and called the family. The dad, mum, and little sister were all there, screaming at us, screaming at the medics, screaming at the police, asking why we weren't doing anything. It was that night that made me realise that all first responders can't save everybody. This speed getting to the station again could very well have been me involved in an accident.
That's it.
From that night until now, I don't speed anywhere. All first responders have to see things like that on a daily basis. Some worse than others. I never expected my first fatality to be that bad or gruesome. And I didn't want to share all of the details. Firefighting is a brotherhood. Everyone is there for each other. My brothers that were there that night were very supportive of me, and I was of them. For a couple of them, this wasn't their first, and definitely wasn't their worst, judging by the stories I've heard. But in the long run, we were all there to talk to each other about it, and reassure
Really, motherfucker, you couldn't?
everything was going to be okay. I wasn't the only one affected by this call. I apologize for the long story, but whenever you see a first responder, whether it be a firefighter, a paramedic, or police officer, thank them for what they do. If you see the lights, hold to the edge, because you never know what kind of call they are going to, or they might.
Yeah, no one cares. Oh my gosh. Hit.
I'll eat your heart.
Really?
Back when I was in college, the Student Campus Activity Council hired a famous ghost hunter to come speak at our school. I've always loved the paranormal, so I hightailed it over to the auditorium. The ghost hunter was someone I had never heard of, but he had an impressive background, and seemed to have several things in the works at the time. This was back in 2005.
Really?
I think he might actually have a TV show now. He was a man of small stature with a little white professor's beard and a receding hairline. But the way he spoke about the afterlife was fascinating. You could tell he truly believed what he claimed to see. Either that, or he was a hell of a salesman.
How? Who the fuck hit me?
He had us all hanging on to every word. We all watched some interesting video clips of his investigations.
Come on.
He had a nice collection of photos and scary stories to go with them. I remember one about a haunted doll that he said moved freely around the room of the person who had picked it up, at a flea market. Just not when anyone was around to witness it. Towards the end of the presentation, he opened up the floor for questions. There were your typical dumbass college kid questions. Have you ever seen someone's head spin around like The Exorcist? Stuff like that. And a few that were actually pretty interesting. I decided I wasn't going to let this opportunity to speak to someone so apparently revered in the field of supernatural slip away, so I raised my hand. The ghost hunter spotted me, pointed and smiled.
Come on.
Yes, you, in the white shirt. Yeah, hi, I said, and I know I sounded nervous, because I felt so dumb for sounding so nervous. I was just wondering, what's the scariest thing you can remember from your career as a ghost hunter? I was halfway back in the auditorium, quite a distance from the stage, but I saw his face fall. I know I did. Well, he said, forcing a tight little laugh. There are so many scary moments to recall. They tend to pop up quite often when you're in my line of work. This statement got a little chuckle from the audience. I felt pretty stupid for asking the question at all. He proceeded to tell some story about tracking a poltergeist in an abandoned elementary school, and his flashlight failing. I remember because it wasn't particularly scary. At least, it didn't seem that way for someone who hunts ghosts for a living. He moved on from the story and answered a few more questions.
I don't even care.
He didn't look my way again. When it was over and everyone started to leave, I decided not to get stuck in the crush of students leaving through the front door. Feeling somewhat dejected,
I cannot wait to
like I
delete
had done
this.
something wrong, I slipped quietly out of the theater exit and headed for my dorm. The ghost hunter was sitting outside on a bench near the bike racks, smoking a cigarette. I ducked my head and tried to get by
The
with
camera ain't built for this shit.
Hey kid. He took another drag and then crushed the cigarette out on the cement bench beside him. Listen, I'm sorry. I remember blurting, feeling like such a stupid kid. I know my question was dumb. I wasn't trying to make fun of you or anything. He shook his head. He brushed the ashes off the bench. He patted the space beside him, inviting me to sit down. I hesitated for a moment. Then I sat next to him, keeping a healthy distance between us. I didn't tell the truth, the ghost hunter said. His face looked much older up close, the wrinkles deeper. The confident salesman aura had faded from him, leaving behind a man in his 60s who had clearly seen a lot of things. The story I told, it wasn't the scariest moment of my career. I figured that, I remember saying. He nodded as though he had known I knew. This is the scariest moment of my career, he said. And this is what he told me. It was the 1970s. I was left to pick up the scraps that the pros didn't want.
Who hit me?
Usually they were schizophrenics whose broken minds tricked them into believing that there were phantoms after them. Or children playing pranks.
No, it's not an audiobook. It's just a YouTube video playing through my speakers. And to be fair, I wouldn't pay for this kind of story. Sight unseen anyway.
On gullible and concerned members of the neighborhood. If anything, it was a simple cleansing of the homeless sage, and off I went. When I first got the call, I was ecstatic.
If you can't tell, I am
describing appeared to be a full-blown demonic haunting.
Tired of this. I'm not even trying. I'm not trying. I can't find an enemy to try. Like, my soul is dead.
Witnesses.
Like, for this game, I'm not having fun anymore.
It was the break that I desperately needed. The only detail
I'm genuinely not having fun
their
anymore.
teenage son, the person they claimed to be suffering from possession, had become violent with the members of his family.
And none of them took damage from being on
only
fire.
acted out of character, moody.
I don't
However,
have anybody.
a week prior, he actually attacked one of his older female cousins.
All right, come on.
She was shaken, but mostly unharmed. The family sent her to live elsewhere until it could be all figured out. Therefore, when I headed out to their home, I made sure to arrive fully prepared. I brought holy water, crucifixes, sage, and, just for good measure, a small loaded handgun. I knew it wouldn't come to that, but something about the mother's frantic tone over the phone told me it was just a good idea. I wish I could say the visit itself was exciting. Unfortunately, from the moment I pulled into the driveway of the beautiful remodeled Victorian, all activity seemed to stop. That is, if it was ever there to begin with. I spent 2 weeks investigating that home. I used equipment considered very technologically advanced for the era. I studied energy waves. I interviewed the son, whose family claimed to be possessed, but in fact, he just seemed to be depressed. Perhaps psychologically disturbed. I recommended the family a therapist, a renowned child psychologist who was famous for his work with violent young men. On my last day in the house, they took him to the city for treatment. His parents returned shortly before midnight, retiring wearily to their bedroom, leaving me alone in the kitchen to go over my findings. There was nothing to be said, and I knew it. Everything they had described could be written off to the hysterics of a family who couldn't admit that they were in desperate need of medical attention. Everything, that is, except for the drains in the floor. Upon touring the home, I was impressed with how up-to-date it had been brought. It was clearly from the 1900s, and kept in immaculate condition. The woodwork and character of the house was carefully preserved, as it was given necessary updates, like modern plumbing and electricity. The basement was the only area that seemed stuck in time.
I can't with this.
The walls were a clammy stone that was prone to gathering moisture, leaving it unfit to store anything vulnerable to spiders and mold. The family had left it empty for this reason.
How many of y'all left? Oh my God! Are you fucking serious?
Time in the windowless room with a single hanging light.
That breaks the entire. That breaks all the other rules of the game.
I never
like I have to start all the way over. Like.
However, there was one thing I couldn't understand.
What sense does that make?
Given the approximate time the house had been built, and its
Combat drain doesn't, but branding someone does. Don't play this. It's fucking terrible. It's the first DLC, the Huntmaster, is fine. This shit's terrible. This is not fun. This isn't fun in the slightest. You're here because you're asking questions because you ain't seen it. This is bad. This is not fun in the slightest. It's not fucking fun. Nothing about this is fun. You literally go from being full powered, whatever the fuck his name is, to this douche knocker who has nothing. You can't increase shit. The only thing you can make a little bit better is how long the ring power lasts. You see, every time, like when I finally got it to build back up after dying 4 or 5 fucking times, the shit, after I use it, the shit's completely still drained on my respawn. But the 2 dudes I killed are back. How much fucking sense does that fucking make? 0 is the fucking answer. This is stupid as shit. This is fucking dumb.
Its presence in a residential neighborhood. There was simply no accounting for the 4 large slotted drains set in the cold concrete floor. As I sat alone in the kitchen, poring over my meager findings, trying to find meaning in all these words, I heard something. It was only a faint sound at first, and so I ignored it. But then it came again, louder this time. There was a steep spiral staircase that led up to the 2nd floor, winding up from the corner of the small kitchen, and it was where the noise seemed to be emanating from. Assuming it was simply one of the homeowners, restless after dropping their son off in an institution, I glanced up. It was coming down the stairs. I can't say walking because that wasn't the case. It was just... floating isn't even the right word.
Oh my god.
Just
I can't do shit.
Moving down the
Like
stairs.
I can't fucking do anything.
Straight at me.
What is the purpose here?
It had no
Like
eyes.
what am I doing? This is
no
dumb.
And yet
I'm
somehow
not
I
having
knew
fun
it was
here.
looking at me. Right at me. Into the very depths of my soul. Then it spoke. I'm not sure how it spoke. I don't think I actually heard
I don't
anything.
have enough.
So perhaps it used some sort of telepathy. Either way, I can recall the words to this very day.
Like I can't do shit to
I
that.
couldn't. I just ran. I upended my chair when I fled, scattering papers across the kitchen that claimed this house wasn't really haunted, that it was all hallucinations of a very sick boy. I left them there. Do you know how awful that is? I left those people in that house with that thing. I didn't stop driving for 30 miles, for God's sake. When I realized how far I had gone, I finally pulled over.
I don't understand why it lets me target.
They were the furthest
guys
thing
on
from
my
mind
side.
when I saw it. All I could do was respond to the deep animal instinct to escape, to run out of that supposedly safe house with my tail between my legs.
I hit triangle
They
twice.
moved, I think.
Ah!
I continue mine, but
Fuck!
in writing, I cited insufficient evidence. But I knew.
Oh my god! Two
I
more.
believe the house was.
I got 2 more in me. Then fuck it. Now I just don't
I
care.
ended up doing.
I don't
my
care
own
anymore.
research.
I don't care anymore.
Curiosity ate away
I didn't want
at
to
me
play
like
this from
vicious
jump.
little rat
I
who
seriously don't want to play it
was
now.
The accusation still ringing fresh in my ears. You know what he did to us. And eventually, yes, I did. Old newspaper clippings didn't tie the stories together. Not necessarily. But I was able to piece some of the meaning out of the yellowed excerpts. At some point around the turn of the century,
I can't do
the
shit.
house had been residence
Why?
for a
What is the
mortician.
objective here? Like, what do y'all?
Unable
What am
to
I
find a
doing
building in
wrong?
town to suit his needs, he said. Home/office space.
That's because
With a
it's
grand feat of
dumb.
architecture.
You couldn't do a fucking
Same
combat
word
finisher on Robin in Arkham
A man
if you
pursuing
wanted
the
to.
dream of running his own business.
Why is it necessary? Why would it
Upstairs was
let
the
you do
bedroom.
that here?
Mid-level, the funeral home.
Fucking doesn't want to move half the time.
The mortuary.
Control stick fully tilted.
Then realized
He's
what
stuck on a
brains were
fucking
for.
step. He's stuck.
Separately, decades later, another well-respected member of the local community was arrested under the suspicion of abuse of his professional position with moral cause. The newspaper didn't elaborate, probably due to the sensitive nature of the crimes, but his punishment was
Got
minor.
health to lose health.
After a brief stay in the local jail, the perpetrator stripped his home of all of its value and left town before trial, never to be seen again. It didn't take much to guess the connection. I suppose I don't know for sure, but the words of that thing still echo through my head to this day. You know what he did to us.
I can't do this.
There was a reason that Mortician felt such a strong desire to build a house that contained his business, to suit his needs. The things that were done to those bodies in the basement were unspeakable.
I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing.
But yes.
Like, I don't. Like, I have no idea.
I know what he did to them.
What would be the smart move?
And it's because of this.
Or how to do this.
Coming face to face with the true nature of a man in its darkest places.
Motherfucker, look here.
That the encounter with that face.
Really? Are you fucking
is the
serious?
scariest moment of my career.
It wasn't him because I had him in my hand. So who the fuck hit me?
I still remember his expression. The way all the color dropped out of him as he went on. The white hair of his beard barely distinguishable from his pale skin. The slump of his shoulders.
Where's the
way
other
his
fucking
voice was
archer?
shaking. I apologized. He waved me off. Then he left. I felt terrible. I still.
There, I don't like y'all. Y'all gonna have to kill them
him
because I'm done. I'm not doing this.
As I grew up, as campus activities were replaced with bills in my own career, the ghost hunter fell to the back of my mind a little by little. Until last week, when I moved in with my fiance. When I took the boxes into the basement despite her warnings of spiders and mold. Because there's a large, slotted drain in the center of the room. And I'm so worried, so scared about what I might know.
Who the fuck hit me? Up here, no less.
The pigskin is long gone. Keep out of the flames.
On pussy. Come on, you gotta do more than this, man.
I'll get him soon enough.
Cool. Like, I gotta get back up. Cause it's fucking hell. You serious? Get the fuck out of here, man. Of course I don't know what the fucking witnesses. This shit doesn't matter. I'm here. I can't go any goddamn where. Come on. Off with the goddamn cutscenes. No. Oh, you gotta be shitting me, man. Y'all roll with me now. There's two left. There's two left. There's one left. If I die, I'm done. Fucking finally. And that's just the end of this. Now I gotta fucking fight Sauron again. Like I said, I'd have to fight him again. But we all know I die because otherwise I wouldn't be in the fucking main story.
Its power is beyond you.
What's the power beyond me, dog? I don't know what that noise was. Well, there goes one of my guys. Come on. Grab him. Thank you. No, you twat. Fucking... I don't, dude. Yeah, I get it. Like, you're bringing somebody back from the dead. I got you. Come on, come on, come on. I only need fucking let's go. Are you serious? Do I? If I have to start over from the orc fight, I quit. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Alright. Semi-fair enough, I fucking guess. But just keep in mind, now my fucking ring power is completely drained. I can't do shit now.
The one is mine.
You know what? You can have the fucking ring. I don't care anymore. Like, I genuinely don't give a fuck now.
All will obey.
Stop.
Give in to the one.
I'm pretty sure now, for sure, if I was able to finish that last one ring mission, I'd be able to kill this dude within the time span of Bruh, are you serious? What the fuck? What the fuck? What am I doing wrong? Like, dude. Like, he has no health left. I'm clearly not supposed to kill everybody because I can't do that. So... Done. Done. Done.
We are bound together.
Don't think for a minute like, oh, you had to kill him with fire. No. He had a pixel's worth of health left.
Your spirit is cursed, Celebrimbor.
No, this game is cursed.
Banished from the Undying Lands, and bound within Mordor, until the One Ring is unmade.
Oh, God.
Finally, all will fear me and rejoice.
Oh, God. Nope. None of that. Don't give a shit. Extra done. Super done. I'm glad y'all booted me out. Alright, that's it. Every Sunday, 6 o'clock, or an hour ago from whatever time it is, where you live, I'm finna go do something that won't infuriate me. Goodbye.